Shalom. Ka'Allah Imla Yahweh, Ba Shem Yahushai, Ba Shem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, a great millstone who still rule and teach well, and peace and blessings and safety to the Lord's elect, scattered throughout the four corners of planet Earth. This will be a quick hit going into, as you can see, ancient Egyptian barbers. Because, like I said in my previous video, lineups, shape-ups, that goes back to ancient Egypt. And we know that the ancient Egyptians were moles. They were H to the O to the M to the O sexuals. We know that. We know that they were effeminates. We know that. We know that their ways and their practices for what they would call manhood is not true manhood. I made mention of when King David's servants, their beards were grown, the enemy cut off their beards to shame them. The enemy knew that was a shame. That's why the enemy did that. And so when they went back to King David, David said, you can't come back to the city until your beards grow back. So you cannot come to the city of David until your beard grow back, showing you the significance of having a beard. Basically, he told him to hide out. Don't let nobody see you like that, and then you come back when your beard grow back. So it says the history of barbering can be traced back 5,000 years to ancient Egypt, which the Lord said that we should not follow after the doings of the families of Egypt. That's in Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 3. And Lord willing, I'll hold that because we're going to read that. And I may read how King David's servants got their beards cut off. Because this is very effeminate, what I would call metrosexual activity. And we're going to look up that word metrosexual, okay? For the Hebrew Israelites that can't let the lineups go, can't let the Egyptian customs go. It says, Egyptians place great importance on personal grooming and hygiene. Yeah, right, but they were moles. Come on, man. They didn't know what the hell they was doing. Esau tried to make it seem like they, like they had a level head. They had great importance in grooming and hygiene. If they had great importance in grooming and hygiene, then men wouldn't be popping men and thinking that they some type of worshiping some type of God that's half human, half serpent. If they had a good sense of life and hygiene and grooming, then they wouldn't shave off their beards. Okay? If they had a good importance on hygiene, then they would know not to have sex on a woman on the Sabbath day. But the Lord didn't give them the laws, statutes, and commandments. So these nations are unclean, and they're following their own way in their own belly. It says, and barbers were considered essential members of society. Now, when I read that, it reminded me of America, because especially you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, our people, y'all put so much emphasis on the barbershop. And you had that movie, that propaganda movie, The Barbershop, and they had another one, Barbershop 2, with Cedric the Entertainer and, who is it, Faith Evans? Not Faith Evans. What's the chick, Eve? I don't know her real name. I think her real name Eve, but Eve and, all those famous actors in it. It reminded me of that movie when I read that, how in ancient Egypt, barbers were considered essential members of society. Like they played an important role. And that's what you so-called Negroes, especially, you try to make it seem like the barbershop is the fucking neighborhood headquarters or the neighborhood council, or the nation, the nation's deliberation room, when ain't nothing being talked about in the barbershop but LeBron James stats, P. Diddy, I don't know what they talking about now. I'm just assuming they talking about P. Diddy, LeBron James stats, the same old shit. How about them Browns, the weather, the old lady, I'm an old lady, yeah, ain't nothing going on in the motherfucking barbershop, man, but a whole lot of wickedness, whole lot of commandments being broken, whole lot of sinning. Yeah, you had brothers who was in the world, they was barbers. They repented from that. They found out that shit was wicked. Now, it ain't wicked to cut your hair to pull, because we have to pull our hair, but it's wicked to get lineups, okay, shape ups, make any type of shaving off your beard, shaving into a mustache or a goatee, high top fade, bald, Michael Jordan bald. That's all wicked. That's all sin. So it said they were responsible for cutting and styling hair, as well as trimming beards and shaving the heads of priests, the Egyptian priests, who were required to maintain a clean shaven appearance. You see? So the Egyptian priest, that should remind you of Islam. That nigga, I'm thinking of Rizza Islam. That nigga always clean. All them Nation of Islam niggas keep a clean shaven face because they're priests for Egypt. They're priests for the so-called white man. This is the new Egypt, Babylon the Great. Take out your dollar bill, you're going to see a pyramid on it. Because America is the new Egypt where the Israelites were once again brought into slavery. So that's all go back to Egypt. Leviticus 18:3, after the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. So again, Egyptians had barbers and they placed great significance on them styling their hairs and all of that. What I noticed about this article, it says a history of barbering from ancient Egypt to the modern barbershop. When they go through the history, they have ancient Egypt, they have Roman barbers, they have barber surgeons of the Middle Ages, they have 18th century, 19th century barbers, they have 20th century barbers, right? But what they don't have is a history on barbers in ancient Israel. You don't see that here. There's no section for barbers amongst the Jews because they didn't play a great significance in our heritage. Barbers in among the Israelites. You don't see that section in this article. You just see Egyptians. Then it goes to the Romans. Then it says the Middle Ages, which we know the Middle Ages Jake did rule, okay, but Jake wasn't in a right mind when we ruled in the Middle Ages. We was ruling under some was ruling under so-called Christianity, and some was ruling under, and that was pagan Christianity, and some was ruling under Islam, the Moors, so our people wasn't in their right mind. But there's no history on, biblical barbers. There's no section for that. So think about that. Leviticus 18:3, after the doings of the land of Egypt wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. So they kept a great importance on styling their hair and all that. That's their ordinance. That ain't our ordinance. Okay? Even Apostle Paul said a woman shouldn't be all caught up in her hair because it's not the outward adorning, but the inward adorning. The word metrosexual. It says, coined in 1994, describing a man who is especially meticulous about his grooming and appearance, typically spending a significant amount of time and money on shopping as a part of this. So, and that goes for, because how much do a haircut cost at the barber nowadays? $50, $40, $35, $25. Stop me when I reached it. Because when I was getting a haircut, it was $10. I used to get haircuts for $10. $10, man. $10. And I think I only got them that cheap because the barber had a crush on my mother. I could tell, even at a young man, but you could tell when some man trying to hit on your mother. So that's the only reason why I was getting my haircuts. Me and my brother got haircuts for $10. But then I remember as I came into the truth, that one time when I said I'm not going back, I think I paid $15 that last time. So I remember the prices for barbers was going up. And now I look on the internet and they saying you got $50 haircuts, $40 haircuts. Women do that. Women spend significant amounts of money, $200, $300, $100 to do their hair. Women do that. Let me read the definition. That's why metrosexual. What do metro mean? The prefix metro means mother. It means mother. So you a mother sexual. You like your mama. Spending significant amounts of time on your grooming and your appearance. You're very meticulous about your grooming and appearance. Brother, when the barber get done with the lineup, they'll give you the mirror, and then you got some people they'll be so close to the damn mirror. Hey man, can you get this spot right here? That's being extra, like, God damn, man. The line is already straight as hell. And they promoted that all throughout the 90s, all throughout being in America. They promoted that lineup thing and that shaving your beard thing. You know, Steve Harvey. I'm thinking about the Steve Harvey show because Steve Harvey, he from Cleveland, Ohio. That nigga, it came out that his hairline wasn't real. It was actually a wig. It was actually a toupee. That's why his shit was so fucking straight. But you had niggas thinking this nigga had the straightest lineup in America. It says, describing a man who is especially meticulous about his grooming and appearance, typically spending a significant amount of time and money on shopping as a part of this. Right. That's what niggas do. They get the fresh cut, then they go to the mall, then they pick out the outfit, make sure the colors match. I gotta get the blue, purple, make sure we get some blue shoelaces so that it can match my blue collar, you know. Then they go and hit the club and live that riotous Bacchus lifestyle, man. You know? So, look, it says, nevertheless, metrosexual man contradicts the basic premises of traditional heterosexuality. Ooh. So if you have these characteristics, you're contradicting what it means to be a heterosexual, which is a so-called straight man, right? A righteous man who just like women and only women, you know, of a marriageable age, you know? So if you got these characteristics of a metrosexual, then that actually contradicts what it means to be a man. It says that only, and Apostle Paul backed that up. He said that a man not have long hair. That only women are looked at and only men do the looking. Right. Ooh, that only women are looked at and only men do the looking. That's traditional heterosexuality, man. The women supposed to make themselves look all attractive to their husband or to the husband or the man that they, you know, hey, in this society, the man that they want to attract, you know, and the men are the ones that's beholding the beauty of the woman. The woman is the glory of the man. But the Lord said don't get too caught up in her beauty. Okay? Matter of fact, let me get that. Get a precept. The Lord said don't get too caught up in their beauty. But that's a woman's job to be all over obsessed with her looks. Sirach chapter 42 and verse 12. It said, behold not everybody's beauty. Right. Behold not everybody's beauty. And sit not in the midst of women. I don't know if that's the one I wanted, but that's another one. Behold not everybody's beauty. So I know it says stumble not. Let me type that in. Stumble not. Sirach 25 verse 21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. Right. So you're supposed to desire a woman who got some substance about her, so to speak, about her. You know, she's not a bird brain. You know, she's not a airhead. You know, she doesn't just have one purpose, which is laying on her back. She can do a little something. You know, she can listen. You know, she can be quiet. She can cook. She can clean. She can bear the children. You know, she's fertile. You know, you don't just desire a woman just because she look good. It says, Sirach 25 and 21, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. Now, hey, in some cases, like you could even read in the scriptures, some cases a man did desire a woman for only pleasure, and it might have worked out for him. It's all according to the spirit, but in the kingdom, we're going to marry our wives, we're going to have concubines, and it's not going to be a thing where we got to, have her and then we don't need her no more. We're gonna live forever, man. We're gonna live forever, man. So we got all the forever. Your woman be always want to spend a lot of time with you and stuff. Hey, we gonna have all of eternity for you to, get to know me. Even though we're not gonna be with our woman in the kingdom like that. We ain't gonna be buddy with not buddy, but conjoined at the hip. With our women, we might see our women once every 2 years, cause we're gonna have business. We're gonna have, hey man, the kingdom is actually. I'm gonna say this: I have not seen, neither have ear heard, man. I can't even give you the ins and outs, man. I can't even give you the ins and outs. All I know is we're gonna live forever, man. Hey, we may know each other perfectly. You know, we made to get them new bodies. We already know everything about it. What is there to know? We're gods. The Israelite man is going to be a god. The Israelite woman going to be a superwoman. It says, metrosexual man might prefer women. He might prefer men. So a metrosexual is basically like a mo. But when all's said and done, nothing comes between him and his reflection. Woo, damn. So basically a man is in love of himself. And that's what the Bible say, that men shall be lovers of their own self. Let me get that. In the last days, men shall be lovers of their own selves. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. That's a metrosexual. Covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. Right, because we telling you to stop getting lineups. And they'll say that we over righteous for not getting lineups. But y'all niggas say that y'all keeping the law perfectly. Y'all niggas go to a job interview with your t-shirt fringes on, but we over righteous. Okay, man. You know? These guys, they don't understand what they're involved in. And it's because they don't have a humble and meek spirit. Men shall be lovers of their own selves. Apostle Paul said that there be no effeminate to inherit the kingdom. Because the word metrosexual is very similar to effeminate, man. Well, it is effeminate to be a metrosexual. 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the heavenly Father? Be not deceived, neither fornicator, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind. So, the Lord's not dealing with an effeminate man. And that word effeminate goes back to of women. Let me look it up here in the Hebrew. In the Greek. It comes up one time in the Bible, 1 Corinthians 6 and 9, the word effeminate. So it comes up one time, so it's important. Let's see what it says.
Strong's G 3120, Malakas.
Malakas, soft. Yeah, you soft. If you're a metrosexual, you soft. That'd be somebody who's soft. You're not gonna pick him first in the pickup game. You know, you're not gonna pick him first. He's just a metrosexual. Soft to the touch, right? When you get them lineups and them shape ups, it make you look like you're soft to the touch. You know. It says metaphorically in a bad sense, effeminate. A Catamite, which is a young boy that the Edomites would basically grape. Of a boy kept for sexual relations with a man, right? That's a Catamite. Of a male who submits his body to unnatural lewdness. It says soft. It says uncertain affinity, soft, i.e. fine clothing. Figuratively, a Catamite, soft, effeminate. So basically, it just means to be soft. You a wuss. You know? The Lord's not dealing with that, man. A man is supposed to look rough. Remember, Elijah was a rough man. Prophets are rough. Let me see. Let me see. Elijah. I'm thinking about Elijah. It didn't come up. Because it said Elijah was a hairy man. Second Kings chapter 1 verse 8. And they answered him, he was a hairy man, and girt with a girdle. So Elijah wasn't making baldness on his head. When you hairy, that means you got hair growing where people don't expect it to grow. He was an hairy man, and girt with a girdle of leather about his loins. And he said, it is Elijah the Tishbite. He knew when they described his appearance, when they described him being hairy, they knew that it was Elijah. Yeah, Elijah, that's Elijah. And who was Elijah? John the Baptist. That's Matthew chapter 11. Matthew chapter 11, verse 7. And as they departed, Yahushua began to say unto the multitude concerning John, talking about John the Baptist, Yahushua's cousin, who was 6 months older than Yahushua. It says, as they departed, Yahushua began to say unto the multitude concerning John, what went ye out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaking in the wind? Right, basically like some soft individual, some pushover. Verse 8, but what went ye out for to see? And we know that John the Baptist came back as Elijah. But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment. Ooh, the word metrosexual, it mentioned soft clothing. Hold on, was that metrosexual definition? No, maybe it was effeminate. I believe that was in the Greek for effeminate. It mentioned soft clothing. Soft clothing. Soft clothes. That's effeminate. Remember, Herod the Great, when you watch the movies and period pieces, Herod the Great was who we know was a freaky Edomite. He was always dressed in soft clothing, silk, and he always had on a silk ass, like he looked like a damn woman in a lot of the movies, them period pieces. They put him in makeup, He had a slick haircut. That go back Esau. That go back to Esau too, man. Esau liked to have his hair all slick back. It said, but what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in the king's house. But what went ye out for to see? A prophet? Yeah, I say unto you, and more than a prophet. For this is he of whom it is written, behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Talking about John the Baptist, who was a fulfillment of Elijah coming back. So, hey, if you go looking to see a prophet, you're not gonna find somebody in soft clothing. Let's look at this word, soft clothing. Ooh, the word for soft is the same word for effeminate. It's the same word for effeminate.
Strong's G 3120, Malakos.
Malakos. Like I said, down here it says fine. It says soft, i.e. fine clothing. So you're not gonna catch the prophets in uniforms, in silk uniforms or in purple uniforms. We're not gonna find the prophets dressed like that. They will be clothed in sackcloth, which is a rough garment. Matter of fact, let me look up that word sackcloth, because that is a rough garment. Sackcloth. Let's look it up in the Hebrew. It says, and David lifted up his eyes and saw the angel of Yahweh Shem Yahushai stand between the earth and the heaven, having a drawn sword in his hand stretched out over Jerusalem. Right, that's when David, he had to make a choice of what punishment he would receive. Then David and the elders of Israel, who were clothed in sackcloth, fell upon their faces. Let's look at the word sackcloth. It's not soft clothing, I guarantee that. The word is shock, mesh, sackcloth, sacking, sack of grain, sackcloth, worn in mourning or humiliation. Same material spread out to lie on. It says a mesh as allowing a liquid to run through, i.e. coarse, loose cloth or sacking used in mourning for bagging. Now let's look it up in the Greek. Revelation chapter 11, verse 3. And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy. That's the Israelites being raised up, northern and southern kingdom, right? That's happening right now, okay? It says, and I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth, right? So let's look at the word sackcloth. The word is sakos.
Strong's G 4526, Sakos. Sakas.
You see it says of Hebrew origin, shak, right? We just read that. A sack, a receptacle for holding or carrying various things as money, blah, blah, blah. The second definition, a coarse cloth, a dark coarse stuff made especially for the hair, from the hair of animals. A garment of the like material and clinging to the person like a sack, which wont to be worn or drawn over the tunic instead of the cloak or mantle, by mourners, penitents, suppliants, and also by those who, like Hebrew prophets, lead an austere life. Woo! So these sackcloth will be worn by the men who are leading an austere life. Who is austere? Yahweh Shai. It said that we should have the mind of Hamashiach, not to be soft. John the Baptist was austere. That's what Yahweh Shai was explaining to them. So we're not to be soft. We're not to be soft to the touch. You know, we are to be gentle with each other, but we're not to be soft. And it's a difference. But we're about to be austere. And the austere men in the earth are the ones that's prophesied in sackcloth. So Lord, this is edifying, just a quick hit. Call me Asherallah. Shalom.